Hi, I'm Charmayne James, and I'm going to be talking to you about how to start your young horse or your horse on the barrel pattern. I'm on a young horse today. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your horse is nice and soft in the face. That's kind of one of the requirements that you really ought to have, is to make sure that they'll give you their nose. Okay, so you want to start off trotting, and we have an area right about here. This is going to be about 12 feet away from the barrel. Okay, when you start a young horse, you really don't want to come inside of that 12-foot area. Okay, so you want to stay outside of that when you start that horse for the first time, and then make sure when you get to the first part of that turn right here, you're going to be probably about 6 feet away from that barrel. You don't want to turn that barrel tight. Okay, and then as you come around, you want to make sure that you are also the same distance here as you were right there as you entered the barrel. Okay, and then you can let your horse kind of trim the backside down a little bit. Okay, but you don't want to shorten it up too much, or you're going to have trouble later on of that horse hitting that barrel. Okay, now when we go on to this next barrel, we want to make sure that we're pointing that horse's head and shoulders about 6 feet wide, 6 feet past, keeping them nice and soft in the face and driving with their back end up to that bit. Okay, remember, they're going to get their power as they're running from that back end. Okay, so if you can have your horse nice and soft and collected through that turn, that's going to help engage that back end. All right, that's where they get their power from. Okay, so you can come up here. You just want to make sure that you get on the correct lead. I'm going to circle around. You can see that my horse is looking around a little bit, got her head up in the air. I'm just going to ask her to keep her nose kind of soft when she comes around here. There she goes. She's dropping her nose nice. I'm going to remember to stay a little bit wider. And that wasn't very good. I'm just going to take her back around again. She's looking out this gate, and this is typically what young horses do. There, she dropped her nose. That was nice, so we're going to go on. Ask her to stay soft in the face. Keep asking her to drive from behind, and I'm just going to come back around that barrel again. Just because I was asking her to keep driving forward, and she kind of quit on me. So I'm going to come back around again. Making sure she's on the correct lead. Stays driving. I'm riding her with my feet. Okay, that was nice. Come on around the third barrel. Use my feet to drive her up into that bit. And then I just overturn that barrel to finish that drill right there. But that's the start of taking your horse around the barrels. You always want to make sure they're in the correct leads. It helps to have them a little more broke. You don't want to get in the habit of pulling them around the barrels or over bending them. If you over bend a horse, put some heavy on the front end, they don't turn quite as well. Also, they lose the power from behind if they get heavy on the front end, and their speed comes from the back end. So always work on driving with your feet. And you can see how I'm just bumping with my legs. I'm not using my spurs all the time, but I'm bumping with my legs just to keep her drove up to the bit. And I'm just always using my hands open and closing them, asking to keep her nose soft and dropped. Okay, and those kind of habits will turn into just a horse that is solid. You want to create good habits and a horse that likes its job. And with doing a young horse on the barrels or starting them, you want to maybe go around the barrels 3 times a day. A young horse doesn't need too much. And if you are going to go more, break it up. Work in the morning and then come back and work them again in the afternoon. But don't overwork them. They'll get bored with it. They'll get where they don't like it. And you want that horse liking his job. Okay, so good luck with your colt. I hope it all goes well.